Morning, friends. I was coming back from my walk last 2, 3, 4 mornings, and as I passed by here, I'm about to turn in my driveway to go into my house. As I passed by here, I noticed this. Now, I don't even know if you can see this, but for weeks, this is all I've been able to see. This is the stem, the little stem that these purple asters are growing on. And as I pass by, it's just like a weed, right? As I pass by the weed every morning, I think, well, that's just a little weed. And if I had my weed eater, I'd probably have whacked it down. But you know, about many days ago, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, little flowers started to come out on the weed. And they were these little purple asters. Now, I'll take a close-up picture. If you can't see it, I'll take a picture and give you a close-up of this. But it's purple, little purple leaves, and a little golden yellow heart. And I thought, what a surprise that seeming weed, seemingly pitiful, paltry little weed growing on the side of the road would produce a flower that is absolutely stunning and beautiful. Now, it's hard to see the potential in a little weed like that until you see the full bloom of the flower. 2 Chronicles 16, verse 9. It says, the eyes of the Lord are running throughout the earth. What's He looking for? Hearts that are right, hearts that have potential to be with Him. That's what He's looking for. He sees potential where others don't. I saw no potential in that weed, then the flowers came out. My dear friends, you realize that a lot of people are passed by as utter rejects, no potential whatsoever. But the Lord, when He searches their hearts, He sees, this is someone I can use in my service. You know, in high school, sometimes they would vote most likely to succeed, most likely to fail. And, you know, when the Lord casts His votes, you know that He knows what He's talking about. So maybe even in high school, maybe if you're going to vote who's most likely to fail, it probably would have been me. But, you know, I'm glad that the Lord does not see as a man sees, 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. But the Lord looketh upon the heart. And, you know, success, as the world views it, is not how God views success. The world, you know, how much power, prestige, what kind of salary do you have, what kind of position do you have, what kind of education you have. That's not what the Lord's looking for. God is looking for a man or woman that will stand true to principle. So a flower that blooms is just like a man that will bloom under the influence of God. Matthew 11, verse 7, what when ye out to see a reed shaken in the wind? John the Baptist was such a man. That man was unmovable, probably when he was born. Had no education, right? Out in the wilderness. It says in Luke 1, verse 80, he was in the desert until his showing forth unto Israel. No education. Didn't have any fancy car, fancy house. You know, John the Baptist was just a simple man out there in nature. But my dear friends, that man was filled with the Holy Ghost. Jesus said, Matthew 11:11, no greater prophet ever born of a woman than John the Baptist. Now, I'll use one example. Jesus arranges, remember, He's searching all the hearts. He arranges to meet a woman, a Samaritan woman, at Jacob's well in John chapter 4. It's no coincidence that He got there at lunchtime. It's no coincidence that He sent His disciples away to pick up some food, because Jesus knew these men would see no potential in a Samaritan woman. That's right. These had this inborn prejudice. And when they saw the Samaritans, all they saw was, no good. But when Jesus searched that woman's heart, He saw potential to be a great assistant in His work of saving souls. And so He sits down at the well. The disciples have left. Here comes that woman. And as you read in the later verses, she had 5 husbands. This woman was a mess, a royal mess. He asked her for a drink of water, which shocked her because the Samaritans and the Jews don't deal with each other. She said, John 4, verse 9, how can you, being a Jew, ask me, being a Samaritan, for a drink of water? It surprised her. Jesus is breaking down the ice. He's reaching that heart. He sees potential in that woman. He says in verse 10, if you only knew who you're talking to, If you only knew who I was, the gift of God, the sent from heaven, then you would ask for living water, and this living water would fulfill the potential that I see in your heart. And the good news is, friends, she got it. She got the living water. You know, even though John 4:22, woman, you know not who you worship. You know, she was ignorant regarding spiritual things, true worship. That's okay. The Lord read her heart. He saw potential in that woman. And of course, when she left the little meeting, she forgot her water pot in her hurry to go back to her hometown there and tell everybody what Jesus had done for her, what He meant to her. What a change. The potential was realized at Jacob's well that day. She had found the Messiah. Now, you see just what you see. You don't see the past. You can't tell what makes somebody so unlovable, so appearing to have no potential. And dear friends, you can't see what God can do for them, in them, and through them in the future if they accept His grace. And He wants to use you and me to love the unlovable. Those that appear to have no potential, He wants us to see in every soul that here is the potential for a son and daughter of God. But it depends on how we treat them, how we receive them. Like Jesus, He asked the lady for water, a simple, kind courtesy. He extended His hand. He opened His heart. There was fellowship. The seed was planted. He harvested it. And that woman will be in the kingdom, saved by the Messiah that she did not know until she met Him at Jacob's well. So this kind of work God's called us to do is to see potential where others may not. So when you see the little, when you see these weedy looking things, you see these things that, where did it go? I had my little thing here just like a weed. When you see these weedy looking things, there's no potential in that. My dear friends, they're beautiful asters. They are beautiful flowers just waiting to bloom under the sunshine of God's love. And He calls us to reflect that. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 6, for God who commanded the light to shine out of darkness has shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Folks can't see His face. He's invisible now. They see our face, the reflected light of Jesus from our face to their face, our heart to their heart. It can bring something out of somebody. And all of a sudden, instead of being a woman with 5 husbands or a man with 5 wives, here comes a follower of the Messiah. You know, true blue, honest, right from the heart. So God bless you today. I mean, God bless you and help you to see as Christ sees. And as His eyes run through the earth, right? 2 Chronicles 16:9, as His eyes are running to and fro through the earth, let us be running to and fro through the earth too. Looking around and saying, Lord, is that a candidate for the kingdom? Give me love to water that seed. Let the sunshine of your righteousness shine through me and bring somebody into the kingdom and use me to do it. Have a nice day. God bless you.